Coach Devin here. Are you your own biggest fan? And how can you be your own biggest fan? That's what we're talking about today. Before we get going, please click the thumbs up. It is right down there, and subscribe. Okay, so often I talk to people about internal self-dialogue and how your dialogue with you will play out for the rest of your life. And it's very interesting. In my industry, it's about health and fitness, right? My background is being a trainer. I own 3 gyms in Nova Scotia, Canada. So my background is about helping people get more fit. One of the things that I have to talk about with people quite often is their self-dialogue and how to dialogue better. Like, how do you talk to yourself better to make it more positive and workable for you? So first things first, how you talk to yourself, why is that important? Why does anybody give a damn? Well, I'm going to tell you right now why people give a damn. Here's the deal. If you're saying negative things to yourself every day, sooner or later you believe it. And a lot of us have that problem. Listen, as a kid, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was shy. I know that seems a little weird that I never shut up now, but I guess I was saving it for later. One of the things to remember, like as a kid, I was super shy. Didn't have a lot of friends. Had a hard time fitting in, and we had moved to a small town in Nova Scotia, Canada when I was a kid in Cape Breton, Judic. There's a shout out to my hometown, Judic, from Chicago, Illinois. So as a kid moving there, first off, it's tough because everybody there is related to somebody else. I'm not. My last name is Sherrington. It's not Mick, Gillis, McDonald, whatever, which is the predominant names around there. And we're talking a small community. So it was tough on the fit in. And it's not that people made me feel bad about moving in there. It's because I felt it internally that I wasn't from there. I wasn't part of the clique somehow. I think a lot of it I created myself, quite frankly. I beat myself up a lot for being different and feeling different and all those other things. So my internal dialogue, I know what I'm talking about when I get down to this stuff. I know what a negative internal dialogue is because I did it for years. For years, I beat myself up. When I was younger, I thought I was stupid. My brother and sister, very good in school, got very good marks. I got okay marks. Had to do a lot of extra work to get better marks. And it's not really that I'm stupid. It's just that I wasn't interested in things. So one of my things on internal self-dialogue was that I wasn't that smart. I wasn't great at spelling or math. That comes out that I'm dyslexic. But back in those days, I'm 45 years old. In those days, dyslexia was not a thing. I also have a little ADHD going on, probably, from the testing I've done now. And back in those days, ADHD didn't exist. It wasn't a thing either. So I beat myself up a lot about my schoolwork. I beat myself a lot about not having a lot of friends. I used to say something really, really negative to myself. I would say, well, if there is a God, I didn't grow up in a very religious family, but I would say to myself, if there is a God, he just made me to have somebody to laugh at. That's the truth. That's how I felt. So I didn't have a very good internal dialogue. I beat myself up quite often on a regular basis. I get internal dialogue being negative. So why the hell does that matter? Well, I'll tell you, it puts up roadblocks for your life. If you believe that you can't do something because you're not good enough for it, you won't do it. And that's something that I talk to my clients about with on a regular basis. If you think you can't get fit, you will never get fit. It's never going to happen. If you think you're not going to make any money because you're not good enough to make money, you'll never make money. You'll be in a dead-end job for the rest of your life. That's just facts. That's how it works. I can remember going to my first ever professional football game in Chicago. I'm a huge Bears fan. Shout out to my Bears. And my first time going to that game, it was an overwhelming experience because for me, I never anticipated I could do that. I mean, I saw people at games, watch games on TV, but for me, I thought other people do that. Smarter people, richer people, whatever, go to those games. In reality, that's a load of bull. That's not a real thing. It's just I'd made that stuff up myself, and then I created that internal dialogue, perpetuated it on a regular basis, and stuck with it. You can stay in a bad relationship because you think you deserve that bad relationship by creating a negative self-dialogue. So how the heck do you fix a negative self-dialogue? I'll tell you right now, it's actually very, very hard and very, very easy at the same time. So How you fix it is you have to change it. Changing it means changing your mindset, and changing your mindset. People don't like to change unless they absolutely have to. Nobody likes to. It's just, that's the way people are. So how do you do it? You got to force yourself to do it. So something that I believe in very strongly, and I would say it to clients, I say it to friends, say to anybody that will listen, I will tell you this right now. You want a different internal dialogue? Start talking differently. But every time you screw up, you point it out to yourself. Okay? It's like you're creating a pain point. So for me, every time I beat myself up about the way I looked, I would say, nope, you're not allowed to do that. For me, what helped a lot was, honestly, I would say, if I had a friend and that friend said to you what you're saying in your head, is that okay? Would you be friends with them? The answer is no. You can't say that. That's just the way it works. So that's how you change that internal dialogue. For me, anyway, that's what worked for me. I forced myself to think differently by beating myself up, and that sounds counterintuitive, by pointing out the fact that I was making a mistake to myself. In my mind, I'd say, okay, what are you doing? Don't do that. Stop it. Okay, it's like correcting your kids. When my kids didn't want to eat with knives and forks and they were super little and they were making messes, I would correct, and now they have good table manners. That's how you do it for yourself too. You just force yourself out of that internal dialogue. I don't know what internal dialogue you have that's negative. I really don't. I mean, it can be anything, right? If you're beating yourself up about your body and I'm not fit and I'm fat or whatever, change that dialogue. Say, no, I'm not where I want to go, but I'm going to get more fit and I'm working hard at it. If you're, you don't think you're smart enough, you say, okay, I am smart. I can do this. It's like that. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me from Saturday Night Live. That's a real thing. You have to force yourself to think differently, but you have to catch yourself when you do it. So the biggest thing I can recommend to people when you have a negative self-dialogue, you're beating yourself up, change that dialogue. Stop it right mid-sentence in that dialogue. Just stop it. What I did for myself was, for the feeling that I was stupid side of things, I would stop myself. And then on the fitness side of things, I never was happy with my body. I was always very negative about it. It didn't matter if I was fit, didn't matter if I was good at something, beat myself up over it. What I did on that change is I said, okay, from now on, anytime I see something negative about my body, I'm going to change that dialogue and say, nope, I actually look good. I'm grateful for the body I have. It could be much worse there, but for the grace of God goes me about somebody else. And I just changed it. I forced it to happen. And you know what? It took me until I was in my 30s before I did that. And that's a lot of wasted time. Quite frankly, I wasted a lot of time beating myself up. But you know what? Once I changed it, it changed everything about my life. Once I changed that internal dialogue, so I wasn't beating myself up about how I look and how I feel and how smart I am, it changed everything about my life. Things got significantly better because I wasn't beating myself up every day. It's worth doing, and it's tough, it's hard, it sucks, but if you go do it, you will change everything about yourself right from the get-go. How successful you are, the type of partner you attract, your friends you have, your work, everything. Everything changes when you have a different outlook yourself and you force that outlook to get better. It really does work. Give it a try. I promise you it's well worth the work, because in the back end of it, you will feel like a different person. That's just facts. Those are facts. I can promise you will feel better. And it is, in the end of the day, who the hell wants to feel bad, right? Everybody wants to feel better. Everybody wants to feel good about themselves. You know what? You can feel good about yourself. Change your damn internal dialogue and feel better. You'll be happy you did it. I promise you. I absolutely promise you. I put together a great free at-home workout for those of you who can't come to my gyms. It's a free at-home workout. It doesn't even need any weights, and it will get you some results. If you click the link, it's in the description. You can download it. Have yourself an amazing day. Think positive. Don't fight the awesome.